Happy slap me. Hello? Oh. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't seem to have put me online properly, but, you know, what's that matter? It's all good. Kinda here. Make sure we're not... Oh my god, what is going on here? Always professional. Professional as always. Get rid of that. Hello! Welcome! Today I kind of wanted to talk about the last 5 bugs.
Tricksy little hobbits.
Oh, thank you very much.
Bored man. Give us some Star Citizen love.
Thank you very much. I will give you some Star Citizen love. My beautiful avocado face there. Yeah, so today I wanted to talk about got the last 7, which is now last 5 must-fix bugs before Evocati. Exactly what the Evocati process is, what it's like to be a Evocati member, Avocado, where the fuck.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
I'll talk about what I can. Thank you very much, Atone. Much appreciated. Woo! And then we'll talk about some other news around what's going on. Obviously, we've got CitizenCon on the 27th of October. We've got VerseCon on the 27th of October. We've got schedule reporty stuff. We've got ships that have been almost completed, or at least updates on some of the ships. But let's have a look at this first. Here we go. So, yeah, magically, it seems, their focus... so basically, what's happened is, with the 3.0 build, we're waiting for it to go to Evocati. So they've got to fix a load of bugs. And they had loads of bugs at Gamescom. They had like 96 to fix. And it's slowly gone down. And the other week we had 76 that they needed to fix. And they rejigged them. So when I say rejigged them, they put them in like focus groups of bugs. So they went, this is travel and traversal bugs. This is trade and cargo bugs. And they put them all into those kind of brackets, and the travel and traversal and gameplay blockers they put into one group, and that is the group that they are currently fixing before we can get the first Evocati build. There are going to be other Evocati builds after that with bugs that the Evocati find that require fixing, and more focused fixing of trade and cargo, or whatever, combat, flight mechanics, whatever. And then we'll get the PTU wider release, and then we'll get a live build. But there's only 7 more, as of yesterday, bugs that need fixing. And as of earlier today, Mr. Brian Chambers was talking about only 5 bugs requiring fixing. So 4 hours ago, there was only 5 bugs requiring fixing. It looks like they were trying to get the Evocati build out this week. That's what it looks like they were trying to do. Yeah, potentially 5 today, 14 tomorrow. That's true. I mean, there is the potential that it could always go up. But I'm pretty happy with that progress. Like that, their focused look at some of the these particular bug groups is a much better idea, at least, than what they were previously doing, trying to fix loads of stuff. Because yeah, they might cause a bug by fixing something to do with quantum travel, but it might not necessarily be a bug that is affects the travel and traversal systems, so they can kind of push that back and go, well, we can fix those other ones in a bit. It doesn't impact the people's ability to actually test the universe and actually play the game, which is good. That means they're going to be able to use Evocati. Evocati are basically just volunteer QA guys. Their job is to find bugs and to accurately, concisely report on what those bugs are, what seems to cause them, what your hardware is. Basically, they want as accurate description of the symptoms as possible. And then you've got to see CIG bugs fixers as the doctors there. Evocati are not there to actually fix bugs. They're there to track them down and give as much information as possible, concisely as possible, about what those bugs are. What's going on? Trolls? What? I don't know. Yes, I'm really glad that they focused some of their power onto other areas of the bug list stuff. So let's bring this up again, actually. So yeah, we can see that shift there. That's the massive shift here, and not all of these bugs have been fixed, or this particular line that I'm drawing. A load of them got shifted over to other. We'll fix them for the next build for the Evocati. But hopefully we should get builds relatively rapidly. It looks like it took them, it's taken them a week to do most of the bugs from this list. So let's hope that they do a similar state with each of the builds. And hopefully we'll get a wider PTU in like 4 weeks. That would be my hope. So traversal related bugs, when I'm talking about that, I'm specifically talking about bugs that affect your ability to move around the universe. So this is stuff with quantum travel, people quantum traveling to the same point and both coming out at the same point and exploding because they hit each other. Bugs with or polish to or additions to. It's not just bugs, I suppose, because one of the other things they wanted to get in, which was part of this section of bugs that they're working on, they were going into the first build of 3.0, is they wanted a short range quantum travel to proximate objects so that you could travel around the planets slightly quicker. So stuff like that goes in, but it's air traffic controller, the system which controls the spawning and despawning of ships and requests to land, that sort of stuff. Players spawning with loadouts, persistent spawns, anything that blocks the doors opening, anything that blocks your ability to play the game or to seamlessly land on a planet. So you're going to get lots and lots of gameplay with that first build, hopefully with the Evocati build. Hopefully lots and lots of gameplay there. But it might not have fully working cargo. It might not have some of the items working. There are certainly going to be features that are broken or not working or whatever. And those will be fixed as we go along the process. The Evocati are specifically chosen testers from people that do lots of bug reports or that are good at bug reports. They get chosen from that list of people. Get CIG go, please be an Evocati tester. You have to sign an NDA. So that non-disclosure agreement that you sign basically says you're not allowed to talk about the content of a particular patch. You're not allowed to produce videos or screenshots of a particular patch that you're testing. That's pretty much it. There are other things in there as well. And it's there's obviously stuff I won't be able to answer as soon as it does go into Evocati testing. But feel free to ask any questions you want. Try and put them like in brackets question if you want me to look at them, because it's much more easily like accessible by me. I'm not very good with my words today, so I apologise when I have very odd ways of talking. I've been fucking shattered recently, and I'm just getting back on track now, so... Words. NDAs are stupid, especially with this kind of thing. I roughly understand why they'd want people to be under NDA that are in closed test groups, but it annoys me as well, so I'm much more up for making advocates of content creators and people that back the game. So people like me, if the more open they are with them, the more they say, yeah, don't worry about NDAs, just we trust you to help with the project, the better, because then I am able to inform people of things without having to be restricted. I can go, well, yeah, and people can trust my opinion more if I'm not locked under, like, I can't talk about that. That's bullshit, isn't it? But I do understand that I do understand why they do it, because it's more of a sweeping generalisation thing. And they do need to do it that way, it seems. But we'll kind of push towards a more open, closed testing group, if you see what I mean. I understand that people get pissed off if content creators start going, well, I'm an Evocati, I can make content that no one else can make, ha 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 ha. That's bullshit as well, so there needs to be a balance, possibly. Thank you for all the follows, thank you for all the subs, thank you for the sponsors as well. There's a new thing that's happened with YouTube. Now you can get sponsorship in the same way that you'd get a Twitch sub, and so a few people have done that, so thank you very much. I will be updating the emotes for YouTube and putting loads of the YouTube-y sponsorship stuff up on the channel over the weekend. Is Star Network 1.0 still a thing? So, yes, so Star Network effectively has been broken up into lots of component pieces. And in 3.0, they have apparently optimized server frame rates, so we shouldn't have as horrible frame rates in Persistent Universe as we had before. But we're going to have... they've done a persistent data refactor, which isn't really going to affect performance much. They've got the building blocks for the object container streaming, which unfortunately isn't going to affect optimization and frame rate much in 3.0. It will in 3.1 and 3.2 when they start to utilize it. They have improved the network code. They've moved some of the physics stuff onto other threads. So if you've got 4 or more threads or cores, you are going to be able to make more use of those cores now, and hopefully get better frame rates from that. So we are going to see some network improvements with 3.0. We just don't know until it's in our hands exactly what they're actually going to feel like. They can say they've improved stuff as much as they want, but until it's in our hands, we don't know. But Star Network basically will be fully implemented, as far as I'm aware, not with server meshing, but the next level of network upgrades by the end of 3.2. That's when we get to see bind culling, that's when we get to see object container streaming being fully utilised, and that's when we start to see them tweak and optimise the network code from 3.0. Question, wouldn't it be nice to have a pirate skinned Cutlass Black? Yeah, we're going to see, I expect that we are going to see lots of different skin options for 3.0 as well. The skin system's already in. They've talked in ATVs before. They've got like 14 skins for the Aurora and stuff like that already made. I suspect we're going to see loads of different skins that we can just put on our ships now. Eventually, we're going to be able to... Thank you very much, Sabotage. Eventually, we're going to be able to colour our ships in as we want, pretty much. We're going to have lots of different colour options at the very least. I'm hoping that we get lots of different ways of colouring our ships in as well, but we're definitely going to be able to customise our ships to a good degree colour-wise. What new features are going to be in 3.0? So we've got planetary landing. It's moons, but it's planetary landing tech. We've got trade and cargo. We've got the mission system, which is going to be a bit dynamic now, so every time you do a mission, it'll be a little bit different. There's loads more ships and stuff, but basically it's the landing on planets and the cargo and missions that are the main features there. There is better ways of... there's like low-level subsumption going in. You're going to see NPCs walking around and actually interacting with you with the subsumption as well. And we're not going to see ground-based combat NPCs, which is annoying because I really did want them. We should see better AI. There's quite a lot that's going in 3.0. There's a video, I think, in the description below, or if you go straight to my YouTube channel, one of the first videos you'll see there will be the new features that are in 3.0. I also do FAQs as well, very regularly. I have questions about your stream. What kind of microphone do you use and how far away from your face? Oh, so it's actually quite far away from me compared to most content creators. Twerk and Saurus and people always have a go at me for it. It's about this distance away. So what was that? 50 centimeters away from my face. I like to turn the gain down as well. So okay, a lot of the time you'll hear people getting quite annoyed at me, going more deeper breathing, panting. You'll hear a lot of people get annoyed with me. My volume of my video has been quite low. That's because of the way I do that, which is bad. That's naughty of me. I will aspirationally improve. With the new Delta patcher that will be introduced with the release of 3.0, can we expect more frequent updates, or are patches still going to be restricted to long-term alpha releases? So Matt Sherman talked about some of this to the stream and me the other day. Basically, they are they have the ability to more rapidly do certain things. So hotfixes, balance stuff, some smaller updates, yeah, they can do them with the Delta patcher. They do have a process for doing patches, and they need to. They have their own life cycle, so it's not going to impact the life cycle of a patch. But the potential there is that we will get more rapid patches, and 3.0 is probably the biggest patch they ever release until like live 100% full game release, in my opinion. So we should see significantly smaller patches quicker than we have been. It can't be any longer than the 9 months we've had to wait for a patch anyway. But yes, I do expect that. They haven't 100% sat down and officially confirmed how they intend to use the Delta patcher. But if it's just for accessibility for people, that just seems like they're shooting themselves in the foot. So hopefully they won't do that. And I will try and push for smaller releases repeatedly. Where do you see 5 bugs left? Well, let me show you. So you got 7 bugs here, yeah? Let me look at Brian Chambers' Twitter. Currently sitting at 5 bugs, and that was 3 hours ago. We had that, or 4 hours ago. Here, have a link to his tweets. How do I do this? How do I link to tweet? Copy tweet link. There we go. There you go. Have some of that. How'd you like that? Yeah. Thanks, Curveball. I appreciate that you're here now. Do you know what ships will be able to fly in Squadron? What, in Squadron 42? No, I don't actually 100% know. Well, Gladius, some form of Hornet, probably the Vanguard Hoplite, probably the Lightning, with the F8 Lightning. We don't 100% know exactly what ships we're going to get to fly yet, but probably at those and more. Other than buying armor, clothes, weapons, and ship components, is there anything else we're able to buy, like land vehicles? I don't know. We're not going to be able to buy ships until 3.1, and we have said we're about to buy ships with Alpha UC in 3.1, and they will have to stick to that now. And I wanted it in 3.0. I think everyone did, but there's a possibility we might be able to buy vehicles. We're going to be able to steal ships and vehicles and keep them in 3.0. So that's something you certainly could do. You could probably borrow them off your mates on a prolonged period and put them into your ships, because there's physical and legal ownership, which is separately defined. So there may be, you might be able to buy land vehicles. I don't know. There might be rewards for quests and missions that give you land vehicles and other weapons, items, or ships as well. So that might be like a special surprise or something. If they do that, it will be a special surprise. What do you think of Elite Dangerous' funding model of only selling skins, bobbleheads, and stuff for cash, but no ships? So I like aesthetic models for funding, which is skin sales and stuff like that doesn't affect gameplay. I'm okay with Star Citizen selling concept ships. For me, so this is very me, and it's my opinion, and more than welcome to disagree. I'm okay with people getting time-based head starts and stuff. I don't see it as pay to win at all. You're still going to be able to get those ships, and I would be okay with them doing concept ships for new ships after release. I'd be fine with that. What they are definitely doing is they're selling their in-game currency UEC, so they're regulating the gold sales effectively, because you're always going to be able to buy gold if you wanted to from Chinese gold farmers. You're going to get in any game, but if they regulate it, they'll be able to hopefully make money from it that funds the game and stop it from getting absurd. So we'll have to wait and see with that. And the joy of open development is that we can hold them accountable to stuff like that. We go, no, do this right or do this right. And I will try and do that myself as well. I'll rally people if I think something's unfair or stupid. But feel free to bring stuff in front of me, to my attention, if you think it's stupid as well. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's kind of important. I don't know if Star Citizen's model's better. It's different. It will probably make them lots more money. But once the game's released, they basically said no more ship sales. You're only going to be able to buy ships with game packages, UEC. There might be the voluntary subscriptions, but that won't give you anything in game other than maybe flair, and that will fund the shows. Quantum travel. How do you think you will meet someone at a specific location in void space? So in the short term, it's going to be almost impossible to meet someone in void space. In the future, you're going to be able to coordinate jumps with each other. You're going to be able to drop beacons in space that will remain persistent there. You'll have to, every so often, recharge their battery to keep them there. Other people might be able to track them down. Other people can hack them. Other people can destroy them. But you're going to be able to set waypoints and stuff as well. So the Mobiglass Star Map app will be able to scroll in all from like system view all the way down to you on a planet if you wanted to. But with that system, with that mini map, you're going to be able to set waypoints and all that sort of jazz. That's not a 3.0 thing. That is a later than 3.0 thing. I think it is 3.1. I think it's the next major patch. My microphone is the Blue Yeti? It's a Blue Yeti Pro. The release date of 3.0 and Star Citizen and Squadron 42. There are no hard release dates, unfortunately. The Evocati build of Star Citizen looks to go possibly live next week, though. So 3.0, possibly to Evocati next week. It looks like they were trying to push for it for today to get it out. But they were sitting at 5 bugs remaining earlier today. And I think that's probably where they're going to stay. They might get another couple fixed. I mean, it's a fractional possibility they get an Evocati build out today, but I mean, I would never bet on that ever, even 1,000,000 to 1 odds. When a female rig's coming, don't know, assuming 3.1, they were finishing off the male rigs, and we know that the female stuff is getting there. We've seen the female models, we just haven't seen the female animation rigs, so I don't know when we're getting the women in game. I suspect very soon after 3.0. But that's just speculation on my part. I think they're pretty much almost done. Item system 2.0 is also part of the style networking 1.0. Yeah, so I mean, all the systems are reliant on each other. Do you think 4.0... kind of irrelevant what they call the beta, but yes, to save on an argument, I think 4.0 will basically be a beta release. I expect of 4.0 they've got almost all the mechanics in, if not all the mechanics, and it's just going to be systems that they're adding in, possibly extra ships, so systems and ships, but no extra gameplay mechanics. So like even science and exploration and all that sort of jazz be there, and we'd start to see more star systems from 4.0 onwards. You can refer to me as Daddy Egg, Yinza. It's basically been 9 months since we had a patch, and so that's like the bullshitteroo that we've been waiting on. Irrelevant question: Freelancer Max or Constellation Taurus? I like the Taurus more. It appeals to me more. I like the idea of the Taurus more, and I like the idea of building the Taurus up from its stripped down nature to a more powerful ship slowly. The Freelancer Max is cool, and if I was going to go for a Freelancer, I think the Freelancer Max's hull is the best choice. But the Freelancer doesn't speak to me in the same way it does other ships do. Like, I'm not like a huge fan of the Freelancer compared to like the Cutlass. I love the Cutlass Black. Are you part of Operation Pitchfork? I will be part of Operation Pitchfork. I want to record of it as much as I can. I want to get involved with it as much as I can. I think it's this beautiful event that's going to take place. So Operation Pitchfork, for people that don't know, is basically before ship losses are meaningful, possibly even who they are, but in beta, before the game goes live is the idea. They want to get everyone's ships, everyone that wants to go, and attack a Vandal sector of space together and try and push the Vandal back. And the idea is to stress test the servers, see what crazy gameplay we can do, see if we can change anything in lore, and see if we actually have an impact on a system by attacking it all together. And it's going to be absolutely crazy. It might not work. Thank you very much, Alex. Love your live streams, dude. Been a great source of information during our long wait for 3.0. It has been a fucking long wait. Pardon my French. Will the new Cutlass Black be in 3.0? Yes, it will. The Cutlass Black is getting its rework for 3.0, Alex. Thank you very much. Answered it before it appeared on my screen, as I am Psychic Ru. Awesome, Daddy Egg. How do I whisper my game name to your Moobot? Just whisper me in Twitch. Whisper me in Twitch, and I'll know, and just say what it's for. Say, this is my in-game name. Play games with me. No. It's 5 bucks remaining. There's soft. It's 5 bucks. It was actually 7 earlier today. Let's do this. Why do I have to do this again? It's all good. You haven't seen it, obviously. And that's me being slightly frustrated. So, as of last night, thank you very much, Henneth. There were 7 bugs in the burn down, and we'll have a quick look at the burn down because it's only like 5-10 minutes. We can have a look at that later. But 7 bugs remaining. Then Brian Chambers earlier today tweeted out, currently sitting at 5 bugs. Boom. 5 bugs remaining for 3.0 Evocati build. Its first iteration. There are more bugs. There are fucking hundreds of bugs they want to fix. Some of which are not game blocking at all. And probably I think it's around 50 that they want to focus on after this set. After this first Evocati patch. Which they will work on while the Evocati are testing it. Which is a much more sensible way of doing it. The other great thing that they've been talking about, they're currently at Turbulent having a summit with them, player relations summit, and they are talking and hopefully finalising everything for the Delta Patcher. Yeah, we know that's coming out with 3.0. Some Spectrum stuff. Yeah, we know that there's face over IP and voice over IP coming in the near future. But more importantly to me, there's the website update and there's the ship stats updates, which are going to be fucking amazing because we needed them for so long, and there's so much bullshit on the website, and I want new players to be able to look at that as a resource to understand how to play the game. There's going to be tutorials in 3.0. That's actually an exaggeration. There's going to be useful, relevant tooltips that come up when you play Star Citizen in 3.0, so that will help players coming back to Star Citizen, and should hopefully be relevant for players that are new to Star Citizen as well. I'm hoping it allows them to jump in and not have to have people there telling them how to play, that they can just go, oh good, oh, I'm on the landing pad, it's going to tell me how to take off, it's going to tell me what I'm doing next, I'm going to open my Mobiglass. A training mission would be fucking good, wouldn't it? Like, something like that. A tutorial. But it looks like they've moved away from the tutorial, unless there's a tutorial on the website, which is a possibility. It should be helpful for new players anyway. But the ship stats as well. Ship stats are all getting updated. Let's look at the crap we currently have. It's not crap, it's just wrong. So, let me show you what I'm looking at. If we go to the ship matrix here, half of this stuff is old information. Some of these ships aren't the size anymore. These hard points can be wrong. Some of them are totally different legacy systems. So half this, well, probably 80% of this data is actually wrong. And there's lots more stuff that they can be telling us, like how many crew positions there are, how many beds there are, the size of the quantum fuel tanks, lots and lots of stuff like that. So the stats page update will update all this information. So it is the latest information. Everything is standardized. If anything changes, it'll change, which is great. I use a 1080 Ti. It is massively excessive to my needs. A 1070 would have been fine. But with Bitcoin miners pushing up the prices of 1060s and 70s, because they're very good at Bitcoin mining, the 1080 Ti seems to have been an actual good choice. I am going to be purchasing either a Threadripper or the 8700K, a new Coffee Lake processor. I haven't decided which yet. I'm waiting for the Coffee Lakes to come out, which in a couple of weeks or something. And then I'll make a decision based on what's actually best for my needs, because it's going to be for recording and streaming and all that sort of jazz. All that jazz. Stop rambling and answering questions. What do I pay you for? Oh god. What I'm most excited for in 3.0, tangible gameplay. Being able to play lots of stuff with Maya and Twerk and Saurus and people like that. But it's the general exploration of planets. Like, there's lots of stuff to do and see in 3.0. Tangible gameplay is going to be fucking great. The replayability of missions. There's so much. There's actually going to be hundreds of hours at least of gameplay there. And I'm hoping it represents the start of us getting patches quicker and less content droughts. Because Jesus Christ, as I said, 9 months for waiting for a patch is not appropriate. So feel free to ask questions. That's what I'm doing. Answer questions. We might look at some other bits and bobs. We'll talk about Evocati and all that sort of jazz. They'll update all of the concept information to a reasonable amount of information. Some ships will, that are in early concept, won't be fleshed out. But yes, we should see more stats on like banner measurement and stuff as well, I expect. It is being built by Squadron, by Foundry 42, the banner measurement. Those larger ships, which I suspect we'll see them all in 2018, like, liable. It's $5. Brian Chambers tweeted earlier today that there are 5 bugs left. A little bit earlier today, a few hours ago. Yeah, I've got my own org called Nomad Black, which will be a selection of trusted viewers and subs and some of my friends and some people I know locally as well that are role players. And it's going to be a lawful neutral org trying to specialise in security, industry, and capturing alien ships is the idea of it. But it's going to be for content mainly. No, you're more than welcome to post the link for Operation Pitchfork Vengeance. Did you message me it? Your details. If you want to post any links, message them to me, if that's all right. I'll get them up there. I'm not sure how aggressive the bot is at the moment. Be aware of that. Steven says, that's weird. I have a 7th gen i7 and a 1060, and I constantly get 30 to 40 frames in the PU. That's about right. So as soon as there's more than 10 people in the persistent universe in 2.6.3, you start to get a drop in frame rate, and that frame rate kind of drops to 30 to 40, and then occasionally will drop to like 10 very briefly, but the server's like dying. That's a known issue, and apparently according to Quantum Questions this week, they have really optimized that. So I'm hoping that we have significantly better server optimization and that we have higher frame rates in the persistent universe. We certainly couldn't have any lower frame rates. If I recruit my face in game, do you think you'll be able to be too much in awe of the game to play, or can you struggle through it? I will struggle through it, Curveball. Don't you worry. I've got your back. There's no reclaimer in 3.0. Specifically, the ships in 3.0, they're content locked basically in there, unless they are doing any surprises, which is very unlikely. The content locked ships are the Cutlass Black rework, the Aurora rework, the Nox, the Urza Rover, the Dragonfly, the Prospector, and the Constellation Aquila. Or Aquila. Or Aquila. Or whatever the fuck people want me to say that. Evocati. Yeah, I'm assuming... Oh my god. I've got... Click on this. Oh, yes. So, occasionally in my stream, chests and things will appear, which will give you the currency on my channel. Don't worry about it. It's... on the Twitch channel, you can ask me... use it to ask questions and get some other bonuses and stuff. But on the YouTube, some stuff's coming to YouTube as well soon. So do not worry, there's going to be some cool little things you can do on my channel. I'll use it for maybe buying hanger flare off me or something stupid, and like raffle tickets. I don't know. We'll do something. Do you think we're able to get ships as they become available with the Delta Patcher? I want that, Truman. But as Matt Sherman said, patches have life cycles, ships have life cycles. They need to. It's not going to stop the normal testing process that they go through. So we'll push for that. But we're not going to see them. We don't know. I don't know. Is the thing. Like, I think we'll get patches quicker, and I think they will contain more likely to contain ships. Like we'll get patch 3.0.3 or whatever with a couple of ships in or something like that. But it's not going to be every week a new ship. We don't know how long Evocati will go for. I'm expecting that we'll probably go for a wider if Evocati goes live next week, I'm expecting a 4-week period until we get first wave PTU with the wider PTU. That would be my expectation. I'm expecting a Star Citizen beta in 2019. That's what I'm expecting. And again, expectations, pulling numbers out of my ass, but that's what I expect. That's what I'm planning for. So the Evocatis, specifically testers, volunteer testers that CIG have selected from people that do lots of bug fixes, that use the issue council a lot, and that are concise. And they test the game as volunteer QA, basically, and they have to track down those niggling little bugs that they wouldn't normally find until it went to a wider build. Obviously, there's some like critical things that they do with hardware that CIG are unable to test because they don't have all hardware in the world available to them. So there's a cross-section of Evocati testers with different hardware, different operating systems, stuff like that as well. So yeah, those Evocati testers are the big net that kind of fix all the other bugs that the QA haven't fixed, or find them and then CIG fix them. The Evocati specifically don't fix bugs, they track them down. They don't even really diagnose bugs. They give all the symptoms of a bug. So Star Citizen for me, I love boarding and I love the massive capital and massive like ship battles. But for me, the thing I'll be doing mostly will be economy-based stuff. Whether that will be a mixture of trade, that will be a mixture of mining, science, anything that can make money. and a little bit of light combat. But I'm an industry and economy buff. I love that shit. Yes, so the Evocati NDA, unless they change it, unless they say otherwise, prevents us from creating screenshots or showing gameplay, and we're recording our own gameplay and showing it. And the stuff I'm showing here is from Gamescom's 3.0 floor demo. And there's like Maya and people playing it. Bored, do you know if ships that are purchased in Alpha 3. Whatever will be in subsequent patches, or will they go away every patch? Assume that every patch will wipe your Alpha UEC and Alpha UEC purchases. Thank you very much, Lale. You're a fucking legend. Mwah. For people that don't know, you can now sponsor, which is subbing, like in Twitch. You can do that on YouTube as well. It's very much appreciated. Haven't got it all down yet. It's, over the weekend, I'll be putting the emotes in and be setting the channel up so it's much better optimized for it. You needed 2 sponsors to do that, but I'm sure, yeah, thank you for all the love and everything. I'm getting used to shit as we go along, and I always have been. I'll aspirationally improve my channel as we go along, but thank you for all the love and thank you for all the support. Making a shift is no trivial matter. Every time I talk about this, Matt comes in, and I'm sorry, Matt. I'm so sorry, because Matt has basically browbeated me, and he's told me very bluntly that making a shift is no trivial matter. Aside from the artists doing their part, there's still tech design work for the setup and functionality, tech artwork for damage, particles, VFX lighting for artists, audio passes to make, and then QA has to make sure all those pieces actually come together with some baseline functionality checklists. So it's not a simple process of them being able to bang a ship out each week or anything. But there is going to be a character editor in 3.0, and we're going to have some baseline functionality for character editing, I believe. We don't have the female models, unfortunately, yet, so there's going to be a slight sausage party. I'm assuming, I was assuming that the female model was coming in 3.0, to be honest, but we should see them in 3.1. That's my expectation. Yeah, so the ATC stuff looks great. I'm glad I did that question about Eslan McCann last week. I will actually give away an Ox Q today for one lucky viewer on the Twitches or the YouTubes. We'll do a question towards the end of the stream. I will literally ask a Star Citizen question that will be a bit random. I'll make sure this screen is up, and the first person to answer it to a level that I find accurate enough will win the prize. You don't have to be perfectly accurate, but it'll be an obscure question. I know what question it's going to be already. I know what's an obscure question. But last time it was what was the name of the guy that in the Gamescom demo assigned your landing pad, and it was Eslan McCann, or Mackan. And he was talked about on ATV yesterday, which is great. There's a ton of work involved in making anything in-game. Yes, yeah, of course.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
I'm allowed to be a spoiled child, though, still, on that. It's like, and I will be. So I apologise that when I ask for stuff that is a little bit cheeky. You know what I mean? Thanks very much, Drexian Gaming. Much appreciated. But, you know, yeah, I apologise. I'm unreasonable sometimes. As far as combat mechanics go, what will be improved in the future? Will leaning be introduced? I think leaning's already there. You have to be next to a wall. When you get next to a wall, go like that, and then you can lean. But yes, it will be improved significantly. Effectively, a lot of that is actually already there, Michael, with stuff. I think we're going to see different stances as well. They talked about stances in the past. But with the stamina system coming in for 3.0, we're going to see massive changes to the way that ground combat, FPS combat, and Star Marine is played. So just bear that in mind, and then they'll continue to evolve and iterate on it from there. But I do think we're going to see different stances, and we're going to see more ways of using cover, so that it's not run and gun. And that's what they wanted to avoid. They want it to be tactical, strategic, semi-realistic. Obviously, it's in the future with super armor and super guns. But yeah, we should see something more like a realistic game rather than a Call of Duty or something. Any recommendations on what to do to get started, or ship on packages wise? So yes, always go for a starter pack to start with. Simple starter pack. Go for a Mustang or the Aurora. I'm actually suggesting the Mustang Alpha at the moment. I think there's a better starter ship in my opinion. Not everyone's going to agree with me by any means. But then from there, you get your choice of being able to upgrade that package if you want to. But you can play the game, you can steal people's ships in 3.0, you can play in Arena Commander to get REC, or REC, that will allow you to rent other ships. So there's a lot going on there, and you don't have to buy anything else. Everything will be obtainable in-game. Just buy the cheapest package for now, because why spend loads of money when you don't need to? People that want to buy ships and packages, great. Just, it's to do with disposable income. If you've got disposable income, if you want to back the game and support the game even more than you need to, then do it. But my advice is always, don't spend money unless you need to. Spend it on your computer. Spend it on other stuff. All you need is that actual game package. But try and put question in front of the stuff, guys. Otherwise, I might scroll past it. Feel free to ask your questions again if they haven't been answered for a while. It's not because I'm not answering them. It's possible I answered them earlier on, and I assume that you asked that question earlier on. Or it's possible I just don't see it. So, have you seen anything that indicates what kind of economic hijinks? Will there be large economic wars with corps trying to bankrupt each other? Or will it just be a trade race to the top? I don't know. We only represent a very small percentage of the population that's active in the economy. There's going to be 9 NPCs for every 1 player that's active and flying around, basically. I mean, obviously, there's going to be huge populations on planets and stuff. And the economy that Star Citizen has isn't like Eve's economy. Eve's economy is entirely player-led. Everything's created by players and manufactured by players. Or I suppose... Well, not everything is, because you have to go and kill NPCs to get loot as well. So there's some looting, I suppose, on that, and some parts that are needed for that manufacturing process. But largely, it's player-led. Star Citizens is going to be NPC-led, effectively. Obviously, players are going to have a big impact. They're going to be doing stuff that are edge cases, and they're at least 10% of the population.
You're the man.
And they're going to be a massive driving force. But CIG can fiddle around with stuff. Thank you very much. Oh my god. Chuka G. Thank you very much. You're a fucking legend. That's a lot of money. Thank you. Appreciate it for the $20. I always find it odd that people would wish to donate to me, because I think I'm quite a good example of anyone being able to be a YouTuber or a streamer. I'm just an idiot with a computer. Yeah, so thank you. Appreciate it. And thank you for all the love as well. I scroll past where people say, "Yeah, I love it. I love your stuff. You're the best. Thanks for talking about whatever." I really appreciate them. I scroll past them a lot of the time because I'm a dick, because I'm trying to get to the questions. So sorry. Speculation on the next concept ship sale. Almost certainly within the next couple of weeks, and it will probably be the X1 Origin, if that's the if that is the case, if it is in the next couple of weeks. They did say that we would see more on the X1 Origin open canopy bike. So I'm assuming it's the next concept sale. I'm also assuming that the concept sale after that they'll do for CitizenCon will be the Game Changer ship, which is going to be this big civilian job ship. And I'm very much looking forward to being able to talk about it, because I talked to a dev about it at my office tour. At least I assume that's the Game Changer. If there's something else that they put in that's like, I didn't realise, I was like, oh shit. But there was some cool stuff I saw on the office tour as well, that we've got some cool ships coming on concept. But yeah, we're always going to have cool ships, because they're very good at making cool ships. You've done a great deal of updating us with Star Citizen progress. Thank you. Thank you very much, Luca. On the long term, in regards to release specifically. Oh shit, oh fucking Jesus Christ. Thank you very much. That $60 is a lot of money. I appreciate the love. People do not need to give me money. But it is appreciated. It's going towards a processor at the moment. My aircon unit that I bought with the last couple of $100 that was given a while ago still hasn't arrived, and it's getting winter here. So I apologise for people that gave me money before. I get a lot of love on Patreon. I get a lot of love with the donations, and I do appreciate that. And it's great because it allows me to do lots of content, and I do want to improve the channel. I was thinking about growing with some other content creators as well that might want to do some YouTube stuff together, and adding some more content to my channel. I'm in it for the long run with Star Citizen. I love it. I'm a passionate backer. I really believe in what they're doing. I will try and hold them accountable to stuff that I don't like. If I see anything that I think is bullshit, I will say, and I will never accept anything from CIG that will make me into a shill. And that is a guarantee. The only thing I've ever accepted actually from CIG is a teacup. Because He goes to an office tour and they had one. Like, does anyone want one of these teacups? Like, I will fucking have one of those teacups. Normally, I've refused everything else in the past. Yeah, I love doing stuff like this. Like, I love being knowledgeable about Star Citizen. I got in at a stage in 2013, end of 2013, where I was able to learn everything as it was happening, and then just keep my information up to date. Lore, I still am a bit fuzzy on some of the lore. But it might be a lore question I ask for the Nox Q giveaway. But thank you very much for all the donations. That's just insane. Thank you, really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the new. I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna get a new case. I'm gonna get a new processor. And I'm gonna get some. I'm actually gonna go water to cooling this time. And then hopefully I'll be able to make 1440p videos. Even if people don't watch them in 1440p, it's higher quality bitrate and stuff like that. So also it gives me the options to do that. And also I'll be able to do a lot more cool stuff with single PC setup. Dual PC setup for streaming is really annoying. And I like 1080p 60. Oh my god. Oh, KW fucking 0311, you give me so much money. You're a legend as well. Good day, sir. Will capital ships be able to fit in the hangars when they become available? I don't think so unless they build a special hangar for them. I expect to see them either exist as their own levels that you spawn in, or they'd have to attach to another, like Port Olisar or something. So I'm not sure if we'd actually get to see them in our hangars. The hangar module and everything like that will get absorbed into the persistent universe at some point as well. So bear that in mind. They want to make everything seamless. So I'd like to see it spawn as a level. Just go. I could spawn in an Idris and just run around. But we'll have to see. I don't exactly know. When they become available, they'll do something so that you can run around in them. I bought an Avenger package some time ago, which is now listed as an Avenger Stalker. It contains those prisoner cells. Will I be able to unequip them and carry more cargo? Yes, I believe you will. I'm not sure if you're just about to remove them, or if you'll have to replace it with the cargo module that the Titan has. I'm assuming that cargo module is either incredibly cheap, or will come with the Stalker. So, yes, you'll be able to remove them and change them to something else. What kind of missions will there be in 3.0? Will there be a limit of missions, or will they be random? So there will be some Miles at Cart and Ruto handcrafted missions. So there are some very specifically, I believe, handcrafted theme parky missions that you'll be able to do that everyone will be like, these missions are really cool, and they're an example of some of the fucking awesome missions that you're going to get in the verse. There are also going to be the modular randomized missions, which will be, a lot of them will be quite similar. There'll be like assassinations, there'll be go to this location, find a crate and bring it back, or a black box, or investigate this area, or whatever. But the idea is that they'll always be in different locations that you'll come from, go to. So it will be, one will be find this derelict in space, the other will be for the find a black box, will be go to this outpost on the ground. And then other things might happen, random events might happen in that. You might get attacked by pirates, you might find out that you have to go somewhere else after going to the first area, and they might lead on to another mission. Something else might happen to you when you're trying to go back to drop off the item. Stuff like that. So there's all going to be these randomized elements that make the missions feel a little bit different every time. They're not going to be exactly the same mission every time. There's also going to be counter missions that happen in 3.0 where people are effectively given missions in the same area that cause conflict, or literally one player will get them that's lawful and another player will get the mission to stop that player as an unlawful player. Like, go and kill this player to stop him from bringing this black box back, or prevent this black box leaving the planet. So we'll have to see how that pans out. It's a very good idea for them when there's only going to be like possibly 24 players in the short term on a server together. They need to have that way of bringing players together. And they could cycle it, so maybe at one point, every few hours, it cycles what moon it tries to push players to. So it goes, the first couple of hours, we'll push everyone to Yella. And we'll have all the missions on there, and then we'll have a couple on Selin, and then push them all to Selin in the next couple of hours, and then keep on rotating it like that. And then obviously getting those counter missions in there and stuff like that. So we're going to have similar missions to what we have at the moment, but they're going to be broken down, and we're going to see their modular pieces in 3.0 as well as some others. And then we'll get more and more and more variety to those modules, and more like types of mission, and eventually we'll have ground-based NPC combat as well, which will allow for a lot more missions. We'll get like defense missions, we'll get cargo run missions, and stuff like that. Yeah. Do. Everything I do, Ballador, will go through my accountant, donations and everything. But thank you, I appreciate. I'm super fucking cautious with taxes. I suffer from anxiety, so I'm terrified that anything I do is wrong. So an accountant. I'm actually going to, one of the things I'm going to do for content creators. I'm going to start. I'm going to get a little legal team or something that's available to other content creators when it comes to copyright ID, when it comes to an accountant for taxes and stuff like that, just so there are resources available for them for when they want to do stuff, or go, oh shit, I haven't done my taxes properly, oh shit, I've been content ID'd, do I have any comeback from this, or whatever. So I'm gonna start to put those resources in place for potential content creators, and it's not just to be for redacted members, it's going to be for the whole content creator community. Because there's stuff that I didn't have when I started that I go, oh my god, that would have been so useful. And the barriers to entry of being a content creator aren't that high, but you get to a stage as a content creator where you either need to get legal help, get financial help, get an accountant, run something as a business, buy the software, whatever, that without support or someone telling you or find the resources online can just be so daunting that you'll stop. How did you get your hair on the lens when you don't even have hair? Fuck you. Fucking, I'm bold, leave me alone. Doesn't like my trolly questions and skip them. Will said on lawmakers, the Banu ships would have varying nav modules. What are your thoughts on how this will affect star map available systems at launch? I don't know. That's quite a cool question, Lord. I don't really know. So, at beta, I'm expecting 5 to 10 systems. That's basically, I think, what Chris Roberts was trying to say a little while ago. He was like basically saying there's going to be 5 to 10 systems when the game is more playable. That's when it'll be more mainstream. For a full release game, I suspect there might be like between 20 and 50 systems. I know that's quite a wide ballpark figure, but I don't know how many they're going to want to release at start. And then as every month, they might release and open more systems up, or some systems might be opened up but hard to find. I don't know how the tracking down of wormholes or quantum points, quantum travel, jumpy jump nodes, jump points, that's the ones, jump points are going to work. I think we might see some information about that at CitizenCon. I'm hoping to see updated schedules for stuff at CitizenCon too. A lot of that stuff I don't know, and I everything that I talked about with that really would be assumption based on nothing. And I like to at least base stuff on educated guessing rather than just nothing. So. Further to the question about mapping, and what do you think will be done for mapping planets? Oh, yes, so I do think you'll be able to sell map data, not in 3.0 obviously. I do think that nav beacons are going to be really important. You're going to be able to place loads of nav beacons around and use them to mark zones. There is eventually going to be player bases and stuff like that. So yeah, mapping for planets is going to be a big thing. Moons and planets are huge. And some of them are not going to be mapped, and you're going to want to... It's not just mapping of planets, it's the continual mapping of planets, because bases will turn up and stuff like that. So, would it be possible to see a BoredGamer voice attack package? I will talk... I think it's Paul that runs it. I will talk to him about it at some point. Why is cracking Brit AI? Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure if I've got a voice for voice attack, but I'll ask. I'll talk to him. I'll see him at BritisonCon next year, so I'll talk to him then about it properly. Last time I was going to talk to him, because I was going to actually talk to him about that at BritisonCon this year, but I was so hungover in the morning, and he saw me in the pub, the bar, and I was just like, I can't eat this sandwich. Looking at him, and he was like looking at me like, it's going to be alright, lad, it's going to be alright.
Tricksy little
I was really, really hungover. The Fast Tass, thank you very much. Fucking love you. Woo! Appreciate it. Appreciate all the sponsors, and I appreciate all the subs, like, a lot. I mean, I know everyone fucking does that's a content creator, but thank you, genuinely. How will they manage 10 people standing in line to talk to Miles? So, there's going to be lots of different ways that you can accept missions and end missions and that sort of stuff. Yes, so it's more likely that Miles Eckhart will request you come and see him on your Moby Glass than anything else. And there's only, in the short term, there's only going to be like 24 players in the server. There might be more if 3.0's tests go really well, potentially. Have to wait and see. And that would... so it's not going to be that many players. And you'll talk to them for short periods of time. So you might have to wait for 10 minutes, maybe. But I think there'll be a good queuing system for it. In the full release game, there's going to be so many mission givers, there's going to be so many ways of receiving missions, so many ways of completing missions, that you probably won't need to queue for those mission givers. Like with the ATC has an NPC literally running that terminal, who is, his AI is governing people to land on pads, he's telling them where to land, he's deleting their, despawning their ships, spawning their ships and stuff. If he's unavailable because he's talking to someone else, or he's talking to someone else, literally handling someone else's ship, whatever, the AI computer from the terminal will handle it with a computer voice. So they could do stuff like that where, yeah, I want to hand this quest in or talk to Miles Eckhart, and he literally just goes, well, I haven't got time for you. Here's a pre-recorded message, or here's another way of receiving that quest. Maybe. But there's lots of potential there, and they'll think of some ways if it becomes an issue. What's your favourite current ship? So the Reclaimer is my favourite ship that I've seen. My favourite ship in game is the Sabre, although it's currently a bit underpowered at the moment, because the Super Hornet is just OP. Really, it is at the moment. 6.3. Oh my god, yes, Star Trek Bridge Crew. All the co-op VR games I've been playing have been superb. I need to get back into that. I've been super tired recently and just not had the energy to VR. Whether they change my name for BoredGamer UK to BoredGamer, it's kind of both. It's both. The brand's BoredGamer. BoredGamer UK is, I don't know. I don't know, John! Where are you? My mum? I don't know. Hey, Mum. What date do you predict that 3.0 will come out? I suspect we'll have a wider PTU build within the next 4 weeks. In 4 weeks' time. If I wanted to start a company in game, will I need to start an org? So, potentially you'll be able to start a company, like if you had a Genesis or whatever, without having an org. I don't know how those systems are going to work, to be honest. We've only seen the very rough, brief design documents for that. I think I'm 32. I was born in March of 85. So I think I'm 32. I can't remember. When are we going to see cloud formations on planets? Oh, yes, so weather and stuff. Apparently we're going to start to see weather in 3.0, I think. I'm not sure how, because it is a moon, so we might see some weather on Daymar. Potentially. I'm interested to know when we see more biomes and more weather as well, so we'll have to wait and see. CitizenCon would probably be a place to see more of that, maybe. Power buttons, fuck off. Sorry, I mean, I can't do that. I think Gamescom bit of the Cutlass trying to catch the guy falling.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Thank you very much, Green Monkey Fuzz. It made your name weird. How do I ask questions? Like that, Atomic. Good job. I was watching Gamescom stream again last night. It took players. It looked players could collide with NPCs. I don't know. That's not the intention that they want, but maybe they had to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it might have been like, oh, fuck, this isn't working. The collisions and bumps aren't working. Actually, bumps coming later. But the collisions aren't working. We're going to have to make them walkable through. So yeah, that's potentially, but hopefully for 3.0's, even Evocati, I suspect that they'll have geometry. They'll be solid at least. That's what I mean. Do you know anything on the 300 rework? Yes. So I know a little tiny bit about it. Where are my notes on the 300 rework? I had them up earlier. 300 rework is scheduled to be completed before the end of the year. Those assets that are currently working on the 300 rework will then move on to a surprise project that Ben was talking about, and then onto the Freelancer, DUR, and Max variants. Take that as you will. That's my notes. on said matter. Easy. I get really fucking bored of all games really fucking quickly. Or most games. And yeah. I don't know what to say other than that. Like, I was bored of Division within like 2 weeks. I recently played Division again. Got finally bored with it within about 2 weeks again. Very few games hold my interest for long periods of time. Rust's been pretty good for it, but I need to be playing with the right group of people. Eve did it for at least a year. Some MMOs do it. Hopefully Destiny will do it for a little while. Star Citizen is basically the game that has excited me the most. And I've stuck with it even though there's no fucking gameplay. So I'm excited about the project. It's got everything that I want in a game. It's very pretty. I'll be able to play it with a load of my friends. And games for me are a big social experience as well. So originally, it was BoredGamer as well because I wanted to do board games on the channel, and I probably will at some point, or on BoredGamer Extra, or on the stream. The stream's kind of open, kind of do what the fuck I want with, because the main channel kind of needs to be always geared towards Star Citizen. I can't remember. Oh man, can't remember how old I was. Like, would we be getting modules in 3.0, like Retaliator ones? I don't know if we're getting swappable modules. I don't think we are getting swappable modules in 3.0. There are going to be lots more systems, so different shield generators, different engines, possibly. Shields, power, all that sort of jazz. Lots of different weapons for both players and for ships. But I'm not sure if we're getting the ability to use the Battlefield upgrade kits and stuff like that. I think there's going to be loads of skins as well. There's 5 bugs left in the Evocati now because Brian Chambers talked about it earlier. So there were 7 bugs yesterday. Or a little bit earlier from when Brian tweeted, but Brian tweeted about 5 hours ago and went, "There's only 5 bugs left." Now this could go up again. I'm hoping it goes down. But it looks like they were pushing to try and get the Evocati build out today. But I don't think that will happen. I think it'll be next week now. Do you think I see any more Masters of Flight specials for existing ships this year? I don't know. They haven't talked about it much, have they? I'm hoping. So the atmospheric flight in the Gamescom demos that we saw is obviously needs work. It just felt like they were in space. If you turn off your engines in Atmo in a planet or a moon that has strong enough gravity, which most of them should, you should fall to the ground. You should ram the ground. If you get hit by a missile or like a railgun or whatever, I'm hoping that the worry is not that your ship will get damaged from it because it's got shields, but that it will knock you off course so that you might crash. Because you get hit by a missile, boom, your ship might flip briefly and you might hit the ground. And that should be some of the worry about flying in atmosphere. So I'm not sure exactly what the flight mechanics are going to be like in atmosphere in 3.0. I'm hoping that they feel like ships have got weight and that gravity really affects them. So yeah, if it's just flying around feels like flying around in space, that will really annoy me. But they will fix that, whatever. But in the Gamescom demo, it wasn't right, was it? You can see that it wasn't right. Yes, I think that's a big potential possibility, Broccoli. I've given up on guessing when I see Squadron 42 by, like... Oh, actually, I haven't. I thought we'd see it by March of this year. Quite genuinely. I was sure it was there. It wasn't, so... I don't know what they're doing other than possibly... the only things I can think of blockers would be the planetary tech, if they've got a mission that relies heavily on it, and AI subsumption, because they want to get the AI fucking amazingly perfect. It's not like, but they can script some of it and stuff. Like with Squadron 42, they can cheat with a lot of it. They don't have to do it to the same level they would with Star Citizen's MMO stuff. I love Stellaris. I think Stellaris is cool. I just don't play it so much. Civ 5 with the No Quitters mod 12.2, I really enjoy. I'm hoping they feel heavier. Geez. Don't you think the new ship matrix should include what vehicles fit in ships? Yes, I do. In fact, I sent an email to CIG with a big list of things that I think they should do differently. And one of the things is, with every Q&A that you have the full ship's intention. Is it going to have any more modules? The estimated date when you think it's going to be ready, if you know, or if you can possibly tell us. The amount of money that it's going to be, the cargo capacity, intended gameplay, all that sort of jazz. What ships it fits in, what ships fit inside it. Just the intentions are fine. Just telling us, like, we plan for it to do this, we plan for it to do this. That should be on every Q&A for a ship. Full stop, a standard question. And you to go, what do you think, what would you like to ask, community? We have that as well, because there might be some very specific ship things. But there should be some things that are just on every Q&A. I learnt to fly in the 325A, and the 300 series have a lot of love in my heart, although that has been taken over by the Sabre now. But 325A I used to love. I think the 300 series is cool. I want that to explode when you round the ground line. I do think there's going to be maybe some form of manufacturing stuff. There might be the potential to own factories. They've talked about outposts having functionality. They've talked about producing drugs on planets and science and stuff. So yes, there may be manufacturing and light crafting. There's definitely overclocking that you'll be able to do and tweaking components. So why not? Have you ever tried games where the gameplay is player-led creative, like Arma 3? I used to play Operation Flashpoint and stuff. I was playing lots of Foxhole. That was kind of player-led, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I've played some games similar to that. City of Heroes. No, I didn't. I didn't play City of Heroes. Maybe, no, I didn't. Will we see any Evocati gameplay when the Evocati comes out? Unless they tell us otherwise, no. And unless CIG show you. Content creators can't make videos on the Evocati actual physical gameplay of it, or the can't talk about the actual content of the patches, and can't produce screenshots of it. They can't stream it as well either. What else have we got? What else we got? Question-wise. Since the atmospheric entry and re-entry go around the shield, do you think there will be a different effect if the shield is down? I think that it can cause damage and destroy your ship if your shield's down. So yes. Will there be enough game content for someone like me who wants to play this game in a more pacifist, non-confrontational mode? Yes, when the game is released. Yes. There's not going to be that much gameplay until beta for a lot of these systems, a lot of the edge cases that people want to do. So, yeah, I do suspect there will be a less confrontational mode. There will certainly be areas of space that are much safer than others. There's always the potential that you could have a player that's trying to kill you or whatever, but there will be lots of ways to avoid that. So as long as you're wily, you will be able to play relatively pacifisty. I mean, I'm planning to play relatively pacifist. I'm going to be the economy stuff. I am, however, going to hire escorts and stuff when needed. So just be sensible, and you should be able to avoid confrontation a lot of the time, if not all the time. What do you think the environment team is up to now? It's been like 3 months since we had anything from them. I think they've been working on Squadron 42, 3.0, and beyond 3.0 on lots of stuff. Stuff that I've seen on my office tour. There's some cool stuff coming. That's kind of all I can say. But I suspect they're very busy. How will CIG make Earth? So, they can do lots of stuff with this. They are making procedural cities at the moment. We don't know how... I mean, Earth could be potentially destroyed in Squadron 42 for all we know, because they haven't talked much about it. But will they fully generate the planet, or will they only do specific locations? I don't 100% know. I suspect that Earth will look fucking awesome. But they're going to be doing procedural cities. I want to see what they do for procedural cities before committing to exactly what I'll see from Earth. How will modular bases work in 3.0? So there's not going to be player bases in 3.0. There's going to be modular outposts in 3.0. I don't think they spawn in randomly, unless it's potentially they could spawn in for a mission. But I believe they actually are placed around the moons. We'll learn more about how we could potentially base build in the future, I suspect. they haven't talked too much about it yet. Other than they want it. And they've talked about like static defences and ground vehicles and tracked vehicles and stuff like that. We don't know too much about them, unfortunately. Do you think there's anything that we can do to counteract the negative Twitch stream? Oh, let them do it. If people want a Twitch stream and they want to, like, I don't think it's negative Twitch stream, really. It's like them just being dicks. People want to be dicks. They can be dicks. I can let them. Let them. They want to make like silly streams and stuff. It all... Star Citizen is buggy. They want to mess around. They're still part of the community, even if we don't agree with them, I suppose. I know what you mean. Just ignore them. Whatever. Just don't be a dick to them. Like, don't throw shit at them back. Like, just let them. They just want to troll. Do you think the Evocati team will expand before 3.0's release? I think they have expanded it. I'm not sure if the emails went out or whatever. I don't know, but I know they were looking at expanding it, so they either have expanded it or will expand it for 3.0. Yes. In a recent stream, you mentioned that you get salty when you're killed by some oddball situations. I can get salty. It can be hilariously good fun. It's when I don't know, sometimes I get stressy. I'm bipolar, so... It's refined salt normally, and it's very explosive and then done. Like when you'll see me play with Zin and Kit. Kit can get equally as salty, if not more salty or aggressive than me, and sometimes will call me out on being angry. Zin will often call me out and make me feel like an idiot because I have been an idiot. So I've got some good friends that will put up with me and tell me when I've been a bit of a dick. Like that's inappropriate behaviour, and then we laugh about it. Whatever. Do you think it will be possible to play outside the law without being murdered? Yes, I do. I think you'll be able to... I think there's going to be areas of space that aren't necessarily law-abiding, but they're not necessarily outlaws. You'll definitely be able to walk the line. You'll definitely be able to like be mercenaries and stuff. It's and there's going to be lots of criminals that have never been caught for a crime because they're very good at disabling cameras and comm relays and stuff like that. They have said, well, they've made improvements to the FPS, the frames per second, the performance, and they've made lots of optimizations and stuff with 3.0. They are finishing, they're polishing 3.0. They've made improvements with the server side of stuff. So potentially we should have much better FPS. I can't tell you that for certain until it's in my hands. There's a helicopter going over my house, so you know. I know that they were sort of like working... I don't know when we're going to see org management tools. I know that is a relatively high priority on their list because lots of people keep on asking for it. They are having a player relations summit at Turbulent, so I suspect they're discussing it there. We might hear more about that very soon. Will we expect shoot first, ask later, sand people in 3.0? We're not going to see on combat NPCs on the ground, I don't think. Player-wise, I suspect there will be tension from seeing other players around because they could technically have a counter mission to get you. But I suspect also that players that have counter missions will almost certainly be it will be legal versus illegal people. You know what I mean? Outlaws versus citizens. Whatever, so you'll be able to see at some form of distance that they're naughty men. There's a chance for Evocati today, but I would never bet on that. Like, even at my most hyped and no, it's almost impossible. But it is still possible. Do you think CIG will license out the developed software tools as a revenue? Potentially, yes. They created a company relatively recently called Cloud Imperium Games Rights or something, which I'm assuming is to hold their IP rights, their engine rights, and to license out stuff, but also in case someone infringes on their rights, they can use it as its own separate entity to fight them. Yes, I think the potential there is that they will license out their engine. They've probably got some form of deal with Amazon that allows them to do that. It's It's quite detached from Amazon's Lumberyard engine. That was actually another thing that I forgot to put in my news, but I'll put it in tomorrow's news. Lumberyard is moving away from the CryEngine a lot more now, into its more developed engine. It's starting to use a lot more cool stuff. Now, CIG's Star Engine or Staryard or whatever you want to call it is based on Lumberyard and was originally based on CryEngine. Then Lumberyard kind of upgraded to it or sidestepped to it because it's based on the same kind of thing. But it's detached from it at the same time. Now, a lot of the Lumberyard updates, they can cherry pick and add to the game without too much kind of faff. So we are going to see some of those improvements from these Lumberyard updates coming into Star Citizen, like fog stuff and GPU optimization and CPU optimization. Thank you very much, Tactical Potato. Woo! Thanks for the fucking money. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, you cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. Cool. Anyone that wants to give me money to say that I'm cool or to tell me to fuck off, I appreciate. I can't answer the question about the game changer, unfortunately. Are you going to cover Elite in the next week as it gets a new update? I will play Elite. And I'll probably play it in VR, and I'll probably play some Valkyrie as well. Isn't Valkyrie getting cross-platform so that it's playable on VR and not VR? And I have loads of Oculuses, so do my mates, and we wanted to play it. And I'd like to play it in both VR and not VR. So I will also look at Elite Dangerous separately. So we'll look at Elite, we'll look at Valkyrie, do them both in VR. Yeah, why not? I can do some videos on some other games. Even No Man's Sky's patches have started to get relatively good. I mean, the game is significantly better than it was. Obviously, I'm still, like, I wouldn't trust them at all. Like, they lied to their community. They lied about their game. But it is getting a lot better. So, what else have we got? What else have we got here? Is Star Citizen going to consume my life force? Hopefully not. It's at the end of the day, it's going to be a game, and I think we're going to see the same sort of love for it that WoW got. Like it's gonna attract a lot of people, maybe not as many as WoW. I'm hoping it does, but yeah, I think it's going to be an amazing game, like genuinely. No, so the Freelancer Max is going to be worked on after the 300 series revamping major's done. Thank you very much, Gaming Logan. Thank you. Oh my god, Gaming Logan. Thank you. Tell me to fuck off for money. So after the 300 rework's done, they're moving on to a quick, or they're moving on to a secret-y, project-y rework or something I don't know about, and then they're working on the Freelancer Max and I assume that will be done by the end of the year. Assuming. Quite a good assumption, an easy assumption to make. Thank you very much, Tactical Potato. I love your fucking face. God, just give him fucking. Oh my god, I should do it more often. I mean, I get so much more funding if they just pay me to go fuck myself. Fuck off. Thanks, appreciate it. So this is Maya and Sergeant Gamble and DJ Knight playing with loads of people on the floor at Gamescom. I did a gaming cut of it. I did a gaming cut for each of the days and the presentation because people weren't using this footage. And I was like, this is actually this was a build of 3.0 that was getting updated every day. It was locked so that you couldn't quantum travel and that everyone was spawning on the same planet, but there was seamlessness. You could go up and down and you could test out a load of the stuff, and they were just messing around. So it was cool for a little sandbox level. Need to get it so ThriftBot, my MooBot ThriftBot, whatever the fuck it's called, is a little bit less. It keeps on posting. I don't want it to post less. I'll change the timer on it. Right. Yes, we're going to see not in 3. I don't think in 3.0. No, not in 3.0. We might see some flora. We might see some plants in 3.0. We will see animals and intelligent life forms, both that are unique to planets. Beyond 3.0. I'm hoping, in fact, to see some of that at CitizenCon, because the theme of CitizenCon this year is exploring new worlds, exploring the universe and stuff. So, Evocatus is the plural of Evocati. Thank you. Latin term for a soldier in the Roman army who served out his time and obtained a discharge, but had voluntarily enlisted again at the invitation of a consul or commander. Thank you. Good description of what Evocati is. If you can ask CIG to make a specific physical merchandise available in the store, what would you ask for? I got from my office store a Aegis Dynamics teacup and saucer that was black and white. I'm not sure if they sell that as merch, but if they don't, I'd like that. It's useful things like that. I'll drink from those cups. Got it downstairs. It's like hidden so I don't break it. But I'd buy a whole set of that. I'd love a proper dining set that's all Star Citizen-y, but like not branded with Star Citizen stuff, but branded with a manufacturer like Aegis Dynamics or whatever. That I go, oh yeah, you would buy shit like this. I like an Aegis Dynamics toaster. But I'm a bit weird, so. Do you really think the netcode is going to be able to stay in the amount of players CIG is aiming for? Server meshing has the potential to. The network code as it stands, no. I mean, it needs improvement. They need to do lots of stuff to it. And they need to get server meshing working as well once they've got the network code. The potential is there, though, with object container streaming and bind culling and the network improvements that they want to put in. So the potential's there. We'll see exactly how far they get with it. They might have to scale some stuff back, but the way that they've discussed server meshing before, and I think their engineers are confident that they can do it now. So we'll have to wait and see, though. They've got the huge, powerful backend as well from Amazon now. Like they can use all of Amazon Web Services for servers. So yeah, if anyone can do it, they can. I think they can. Quite genuinely think, and I think it's a high probability that we will be all on the same shard, and server meshing will allow us, with the release game, to all be on the same server. They talked about persistence and ownerships and perms. Last time owner crashed, nobody could run the ship. Any updates on that? So there is persistence in 3.0. When you log out, your ship will log out with you, assuming that all the crew are in beds or whatever, or I don't know what happens whether you've got crew in 3.0 actually, but your ship will log out with you is the idea. If there's no one else on your ship, I suppose. And then when you log back in, you'll log back in where you were, your ship. I'm assuming that if there's anyone on your ship won't log out, and it will just stay there until everyone else is logged out. There's also physical and legal ownership. You'll be able to steal ships from people, and then you'll be able to keep hold of those ships. Players that have had their ships stolen will be able to request them back via insurance, but that doesn't despawn the ship. There's no more just random despawning of ships out in the verse. Well, I say that if there's a ship that's been lost or damaged and just flying off like 10 minutes or whatever, and no one's going back for it, and the player's logged off, yeah, then it may despawn. Or if a ship that's just derelict for a while, someone's requested it back on insurance, after a while that ship will again despawn. But it's allowing for more persistent gameplay and stuff. If you die, you will lose everything on your character in 3.0. If your ship explodes or whatever, even if you request it back on insurance, anything that you bought system and weapons wise won't be there on your ship when you request it back. It will be the stock ship, so there will be loss in 3.0. Eventually there will be lots of different levels of insurance and stuff, but in 3.0 everyone has exactly the same insurance on their ships. Ships that aren't yours that you've stolen are not owned by you, so when you lose them, you lose them. Do you think the Game Changer ship will be something most players will want? Not that most players will want, that some players will definitely want. It's an essential ship for gameplay, definitely. What they've talked about. When we can expect the live version? I don't know what that means, sorry. Oh, live 3.0. I expect wider PTU within 4 weeks of the first Evocati build. Would be my hope and expectation. So maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Maybe. I'm sorry, I can't be more specific than that. I think they're going to try and push it so that it's released with CitizenCon. That's what their push will be for. I'll be buying a kitty ship perm. Good job, Little Bit Madness. We've got the champ here, the UK Dogfighting 2017 winner, champion in the house. little bit of madness. So 3.1 is going to have, I believe, bind culling. It's going to have some of the stuff from the object container streaming system actually implemented. We're going to see lots of different ships. Mining is in 3.1. Ship. Thank you very much, Broccoli. Fucking love you. I just, oh my god, I should have it as a Patreon award. Tell me to fuck off. Thank you, appreciated. So ships will be purchasable in 3.1 with Alpha UEC. So there's quite a lot coming with 3.1. I hope we'll see it a lot quicker than we saw 3.0 as well. I vaguely remember ships having upgrade slots. So yeah, that's been changed. So now you've got different modules and weapon hardpoints and utility hardpoints and stuff.
Go go new equipment. I watch your stuff every day. Keep up the good work. I love it.
Thank you very much, Slodder. Much appreciated. I appreciate the views as well. Like, that's... People want to help, and they don't have random money to give away. Viewing my stuff, commenting on it, giving me feedback, emailing me about any questions or content ideas. That sort of shit is gold as well. Like, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's amazing. Almost there with the CPU, so thank you. But yeah, so upgrade slots aren't there like they used to be. With the new website updates, we're going to see a load of the new stuff. We're going to see exactly what ships have in terms of slots and hardpoints and stock equipment, which is going to be absolutely great. But yeah, they've moved away from that. But we'll see that in the very near future. We'll see the website upgrade, we'll see the ship matrix upgrade, and we'll be able to compare those ships, bang. What about weapons bought with real money? They will. So anything that's bought with real money, you won't lose. So don't worry about that. When the game goes live, you'll have to have insurance and stuff for those things. But before the game goes 100% live, in over 2 years' time, don't worry about losing stuff like that. And in 3.0, losing stuff that's bought with real money or UEC from the website shop should just respawn. You should be able to put it back on your ship. 3.0 should be in Evocati's hands. What we're saying. I think 3.0 will be in Evocati hands by next Thursday. Quite potentially. There's only 5 or less bugs. Well, actually, it might be more now, potentially. So there was 5 bugs a few hours ago. Brian Chambers tweeted about it. Yeah, that's when it will be in some of our hands. And then probably 4 weeks after that. And we'll be on the wider PTU. I do YouTube and Twitch. Fuck you! I don't think we'll be able to use work purchased weapons in 3.0's PU. Don't think so anymore. I think they've moved the databases away from each other. I'm not sure on that, but I think that's the idea. Everything's going to be foundations now. Like, there's loads of stuff they need to get right, and they're doing everything properly now. 2.6.3 up to now has been lots of the building blocks and stuff, but they didn't have the foundations. They were getting the materials. They were getting a lot of stuff done. A lot of stuff from up till now and up to 2.6.3 will be reused in 3.0, but it's the foundations being laid for 3.0 for the rest of the game. I do feel a lot of people are very upset with CIG if they do nothing with Squadron 42 at CitizenCon. I will be upset, but if as long as CitizenCon's good, I'll forgive them. I'm not 100% expecting a vertical slice or Squadron 42 stuff at CitizenCon, but I want it. And people are allowed to be upset if they want to be, but just they will show the vertical slice when when it's done. They will start to market Squadron 42. It should appear on the schedule report and stuff like that as well. So it's getting there. I don't know how far they are along with it. I do understand, though, with the vertical slice and the Squadron 42 stuff now, though, that they do want it at its final level of quality. They're literally their shipping quality level for it before they show it off. So I'm not sure if that's the correct decision, but that's what they want. Although they've said it will not happen, do you think an RPG skill element would make the game richer? I think we're going to see mods and private servers that will allow that functionality. I don't think that a leveling or so I don't think that leveling or anything like that or EXP and stuff like that would be a good thing. But you are going to likely have that RGB skill element because your equipment is going to effectively denote what you can and can't do. So if you've got the correct medical supplies and stuff, you might be able to do all the medical skills. If you've got the correct scanners and stuff on your equipment and helmet, you might be able to scan stuff down for people and that sort of stuff. So your equipment will have that kind of make your class. You see what I mean? So might be a little bit of that. If a crew member logs out on your ship and you keep flying around and they log back in, will they log back in where they were or whatever? So I don't 100% know in 3.0. I'm assuming that it works out where you were on the ship when you log back in, but that is an assumption. I was talking about this the other day as well, with crew on your ship, like when you log out and stuff. Like where did the crew go? What if you don't have crew there? I don't know. We'll have to see how that persistent works. That'll be the first thing I test in Evocati, to be honest. No, the champ is here. The champ is here. You can do the drum beat in the back. The champ is... Fuck off. Yeah, have that. Do you think the people that made Spectrum, which is Turbulent, will make an app for Android? Oh, well, they're definitely making apps for Android that identifies people as Star Citizens for bar citizen purposes. I mean, that's kind of quite cool. Obviously, you'd opt into it. Maybe. I expect there will be lots of social apps. As soon as they release APIs for things, and the ability for people to make mods and cool little tools, someone will make that. That sounds cool. I mean, identify people at bar citizens. Okay. Oh, it's BoredGamer. Oh, it's work. I think that's cool. Do you think they'll ever give the Grey Cat the ground vehicle treatment it deserves? I think we're going to see people racing them. I think they'll get a bit tweaked, definitely. After a certain number of kills, your character becomes a monster serial killer. Question: do you think the Bengal carrier has? How far do you think the Bengal carrier has come? It's come very far. I saw it on my Squadron, my thingamajig tour. Looks cool. Didn't see all of it, just saw bits of it. This is big shit. There's a tiny chance for Evocati this week. It's just so unlikely. Like, yeah. It's so Brian Chambers tweeted earlier. So let me show the tweet again. Brian Chambers tweeted 5 hours ago now that there were 5 bugs left. Currently seeing 5 bugs, which so yeah, 5 bugs from 7. So that might have gone up again. That might have gone down. Maybe it's gone down. But it looks like they were trying to get Evocati the 3.0 build this week, but obviously were unable to. Well, I mean, potentially they could, but I'm calling it. They were unable to get it this week. Back to here. Yeah, so that's a great use of the $1,000. Black Friday, get some cool hardware. I think by Black Friday, what date is Black Friday? Hopefully the new Intel processors are out, so that should drop the prices of the AMD ones as well, and then we can compare them and get some cool stuff. Have you decided what your profession is going to be when Star Citizen goes live? Mostly economy based. I'm going to do a bit of everything, and I need to be at least okay and knowledgeable about every mechanic in the game, because it is effectively what my channel and my job is, to cover Star Citizen and to be knowledgeable about it. But I'm going to really specialise in the economy, in industry and stuff like that. So mining, trade and transport, science, all those jobs that aren't 100% combat, even exploration with Carrick and stuff. Thank you very much, Gaming Log On. Oh my god. So I'm about 5 minutes behind our chat, so I'm going to skip ahead. If you've had a good question, please re-ask it in a bit. What do you think the odds of seeing an actual ground bike with wheels? I really want that. I was hoping the X1 would be a ground bike. I want to see some proper wheeled, more wheeled ground vehicles and tracked vehicles. I'd love to see a ground bike. I don't know what the odds are. I think once we have a couple of wheeled vehicles in game and tested, potentially hard to see a wheeled bike. Yeah, maybe. Are you allowed to give updates to what you will be doing after you do it in Evo? I will say everything I can say that it doesn't break an NDA, that doesn't piss CIG off with the Evocati build stuff. but it's restricted that you can't talk about what the content of the patch is, unfortunately. And I can't create a video on it, and I can't create I can't do a stream on it, and I can't do screenshots of it. Wow, wow, not answering that question. So often I say that either. How much will the Cutlass Black and the Aquila prices go up after 3.0's release? I don't 100% know. Expect them to go up by $25 each. Yeah, that's probably a reasonably good shout. If I buy a ship with in-game currency when implemented in 3.1 or 3.2, no. So if you buy it with in-game alpha UEC, that is basically for testing. You earned that while playing the alpha, and you bought that during the alpha, and that will be wiped from patch to patch. Like they can just wipe your alpha UVC and wipe your alpha UVC purchases at any time, and you will not keep it through to the live game. Anything you buy with actual money or UEC that you've bought with money will stay on your account until launch. Or can you make an active mission to determine persistence with a crew concerning ownership, and when the captain logs and despawns? Yes, I will do that. That will be one of the first things I do. I might actually do a stream just before the Evocati build, so we'll do it next week, where I go suggestions on things I should test for the Evocati. I can do something like that, I suppose. Although they'll probably give us some more details of exactly what they want us to test in the patch and what they don't want us to test. So, do you think people that made Spectrum will make... I've seen that. What are your thoughts on co-op missions and rewards for doing them with friends? So I'm not sure how the... I don't think you'll be able to share missions traditionally with rewards in 3.0. You'll have to do multiple missions together with different people taking them to get all the rewards. You will be able to find loot on those missions as well, though, that you could share. So there will be ways of co-oping for these missions that are semi-enforced. Well, they're not enforced is the issue, I suppose. There's no enforcing of sharing of stuff on the co-op missions in 3.0, but there will be in the future. We're going to have service beacons as well for distress beacons. We're going to have player-made missions in the future that you literally set a contract of, you can bring these materials from here to here, you get paid. Go kill this guy, you get paid, whatever. How do you think the Origin X1 will cost? How much do you think it will cost? And what role will it fulfill in the universe? Now, it won't fulfill much of a role. It's going to be a racing version of the other bikes. Luxury and racing. And I think it will be very similar to the Xi'an Nox. And I think all the bikes are pretty-ish similar. They're going to have 2 size 1 weapons. And they're going to be for people that want to ride bikes and that have little tiny ships that can fit in other ships. And that can be used on planets. They don't necessarily need to fill a role. In this situation, it's more sort of like fleshing out so there's more of them. Because I think it's quite easy for them, comparatively to other things, to make these small ground vehicles, or these small vehicles in general that don't have quantum drives and stuff. They don't need to balance them in the same way. How complex do you think the systems like mining, exploration, and tracking will be? I was hoping for something a little like Star Wars Galaxies. I can't fucking remember what that's like. I think they'll be... easy enough to do, that people can just do them. I think they will have depth to them, so you can do them a lot better. And I do think they will have substantial gameplay. Like, I do think mining will have tracking down the resources, and then operating all the machines to extract the resources by scanning down on an asteroid, firing little missiles into an asteroid to blow bits off it so that you can get into the bit that you want, and then you'll have to adjust the power of your laser so that it's almost like a mini game, so that it's not detonating any explosive gas, or it's not destroying or damaging any of the material that you want. Stuff like that. Wreck, I do not believe, is wiped. Wreck will be on your account. Do you think we're about to buy vehicles in 3.0? I've already answered that, but I don't think we're about to buy vehicles in 3.0. I was hoping that we might get them as mission rewards and stuff like that. We'll have to wait and see. You're definitely going to be able to steal stuff like that. How certain we are the DOR will be able to use small jump point? We're not 100% sure of anything at the moment with the jump point stuff. They need to update it all. Will ship items bought with Alpha EC be included in insurance? You have to, in 3.0, you have to rebuy them. In the future, there's going to be multiple insurance levels, but in 3.0, there's just standard hull insurance for all ships, but not for the equipment on them. Equipment that has been bought with cash or UBC from the store, I believe, however, will just respawn. So you're back re-equipable. The X1 is not the game changer. I have the Aquila, 300i, Cutlass Blue, Dragonfly, Nox, Q, and a free Gladys referrals. Would you trade all that in for a Reclaimer? Oh. Don't know. That's a lot of ships. I love the Reclaimer. I don't know, Windlord. The Reclaimer is my favourite ship, though. That's a lot of ships. For the final iteration of the game, what do you think would be a good player count in a server? Oh, so for the final iteration of the game, they want everyone to potentially be on the same server. That's the idea. I'd like to see, if they can't do that, I'd like to see... I don't know. We'll have to cross that bridge when it comes to it. It won't feel empty, though, the star systems, because there's going to be 9 NPCs, or more, potentially, for every player. So they can fill it full of NPCs. Stuff like that. Are you going to do any mining? Yes. If so, will you focus on small prospector size stuff? Both. I need to learn those mechanics both. I've got an Orion and I've got a prospector. So I'll pretty much buy any industrial ship or any economy ship that I think I can make content on in the future. As long as they're not ridiculously priced. And then if they were ridiculously priced and I couldn't afford them, then I probably would do it as a donation goal. Like, please buy me a ship, stream. Should all ships be able to float like we've seen on the planet surface? No, they need to get the atmosphere mechanics working right. They need to get the gravity working right. You want to see ships have weight to them in gravity. The flight mechanics in the atmosphere was not right in the 3.0 demo. So hopefully that would have already been addressed, but we'll have to wait and see. Do you think the second NPC, the character based on Ortwin, so that's Ruto, made it into 3.0? Yes, I do. It was Ruto. Ruto's name appears in 2.6.3 as well. He's the guy that tells you to go hack down your level if you're a criminal at Korea, and then goes, good job if you when you actually do it. So. Do you think it's possible to have custom DIY screens for Star Citizen? An example, small OLED, just to show your ammo count. Once they release APIs and some of the modding stuff, yes, I think the potential's there. Uber important. Is it true that Chris Roberts is the second coming? I don't think so. I think he was the first. He's the older brother, isn't he? He's the first coming. Do you own a Crucible, and how will repairing work? Don't 100% know how repairing is going to work. Crucible sized. It's going to be able to apparently repair capital ships, produce like a mini lattice around it so that it can do these repairs and things. It's also going to be able to repair ships like Hornets inside itself. It's got like a workshop inside itself, but also its big mechanical hands. In the shorter term, we're going to be able to have welding tools. We're going to be able to weld parts of the internals of our ship and potentially externals of our ship together. Also, when ships get damaged, power relays might blow and components might blow that we need to replace parts of. So there's going to be gameplay for that as well. Idris's capital ships, they're going to have high times to kill, but they're often going to lose power to a small section, which could have massive knock-on effects that you're going to need engineers to run around and repair little areas to get that power back onto that area. Based on the size and role of current industry ships, where do you... I don't know where it's going to fall price-wise at all. I have no idea. I'm hoping under $600. I can't... I don't fucking know, to be honest. Do you think that we'll see a grey buggy spawnable in 3.0? Yes. In the PE, yes I do. Any use of 300 rework? Yeah, so it's... forgotten about it again. Just bring up the information I did have. It's really light information. I'm sorry I keep on answering the same questions again, but people are asking. 300 rework is scheduled to be completed before the end of the year, it looks like. Then those assets that we're working on it, which I think is Josh Coons, will Was Josh Coon's working on... I think Josh Coon's working on the 300, isn't he? And then he's moving on to some form of surprise project that Ben didn't want to talk about, and then it will be the Freelancer DUR and Max variants. What's the... Yeah, Phil, so it's Brian Chambers said that was 5 a few hours ago. That's fine. That's why the number's been updated by us. We'll have to wait and see when we the schedule report later tonight anyway, so we get the official end of week report soon anyway. So, would you like a program that will display a ship MFD on your screen in your PC setup? Yes, I think that would be fucking awesome. I think we'll get stuff like that as soon as we get APIs and modding tools. Yes, I do think that the game will be 100% released at some point. It's going to be 2 years, really, realistically, until we get something like a beta. Right? It's a long-term project. And then even after the game's released, so think of possibly another 6 months or a year before it's released after the beta, they're still going to be adding content to that constantly afterwards. Like VR support and stuff might come later after that. Things like that, and lots of other weird or cool gameplay concepts that they couldn't get in. Mechanics and things. Do you feel that the wow factor for ships has dried up? No, I just think that the backers that have been backing for a while we've had a drought for 9 months of gameplay. We've done everything in 2.6.3, and yeah, there's some cool ships coming out, but we've got ships that do that stuff or better already. So just bear that in mind. Thank you very much, Ives. Much appreciated. Could you tell us who wins a ship every month? What do you mean? So in the description below, I'm not sure if it's on Twitch, but it's definitely on YouTube. There's the contest rules every month, and if you go there, it shows you all the previous winners, I believe. Last month's winner was Teal Wraith, who I haven't sent his... I've contacted him, I've been talking to him, but I haven't sent him his ship yet. His Nox Q. And all you need to do to win a Nox Q, in general, every month I give away a ship. It's you need to be subscribed to my YouTube channel, and you need to comment on any of my videos. I think these comments count as well. In fact, they do, because they're in my list. Do you think they'll tweak the amount of time it takes for a Cutlass or any Drake ship to blow up into... yeah. So lots of ships, especially the larger ships, are getting larger times to kill. One of the gameplay things they want to do. And that'll get balanced out slowly.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Since we saw the AI with the repair tool at Gamescom, do you think modular repair in item system 2.0 will exist for ships in 3.0? I can't remember if they said that component repair will be in 3.0 or not. I can't remember now. I don't think it is. I think it's probably in 3.1. Potential. So we're going to have breaching in 3.0, and we're going to have ship locking in 3.0 to prevent people from stealing ships, but also allow people to steal ships. If you see what I mean, you have to breach your ship after it's locked, but that will give you some time. And I assume that's either going to be done with the hand welder, or hacking, or blowing up the door. Potentially, we could have switching out of components, because components will blow in Star Citizen in the short term, whether it's in 3.0 or 3.1. We will have at some point the ability to repair components that explode or get damaged. When it comes to bounty hunting, how do you see the merchantman fitting into that slot? I'm not sure if we're going to be participating in the slaver stuff much. I suppose we probably will. Oh, I don't know. I don't know whether the merchantman's going to fit into that at the moment. We'll have to wait and see until they produce more documents on that, because I know probably as much as you do on that stuff. How do you think gravity will be implemented in 3.0? Very badly in the Gamescom demo, unfortunately. I want ships to have weight. Ships need to have weight. They need to be affected by the atmosphere a lot more, especially on Daymar. Yeah, we had very, very crappy gravity mechanics and atmosphere mechanics in the Gamescom demo, unfortunately, where ships were like floaty. But yes, I expect them to be heavier. I suspect them to be crashing into things, and I suspect that and want atmosphere-based battles to be quite brutal. No, Doesn't matter how many comments you have, as long as you have one. As long as you're subscribed and at least one comment. More comments do not give you more chances to win, but feel free to comment more. Star Citizen is moving from DirectX to Vulkan. And that's going to give it like multi-platform support, so it's going to be Windows 7 to 10, and it's going to be very, very focused on Vulkan, so they'll be able to optimize it for that a lot. You don't need to switch to AMD. It should support Intel and AMD pretty much equally. We're going to start to see more threads, more cores being used, and lots more optimization in the future as well. I think they originally said that they wanted to scale Star Citizen up to 16 cores at least. So you don't need a 16-core processor to play Star Citizen by any means. It's just going to actually start using multi-threading. Will Star Citizen have any RGB progression elements when it's released? No. It's not the plan, but obviously equipment might... equipment basically will define your class or whatever. There might be reputation systems as well. Will permadeath make life difficult for pirates? No. There'll probably be pirate insurance-y stuff. There'll be outlawry sectors. I suspect that pirates will have slightly higher risk-reward stuff. But permadeath's... It's only a light permadeath. There'll be ways of avoiding dying. There'll be ways of getting your fluffy life count back up, because you don't just, once you die, it's not your insta-dead, and you've got like a certain amount of lives, effectively. Yes, I'll make new tutorials as soon as 3.0 is released. I'll probably make new tutorials as soon as the PTU's gone to the first wave PTU, as soon as I'm not bound by the Evocati NDA stuff. Yes, so ships won't just die either. So some ships, when they get killed, they'll have chances to explode, yes. Certain systems, it's going to be much more likely that ships are crippled as well, rather than just explode. So yeah, there's going to be huge times to kill, but also certain sections of a ship will be damaged, ships will be crippled, ships will be able to fight still, but people will be boarding them. It's not just going to be a close cut, oh, we killed the Idris has exploded. It's going to be, the Idris is disabled, or part of the Idris is disabled. Or yeah, it's dead, it's derelict, but it's not exploded. There'll be lots of shit happening. Thank you very much, Sipakan. I can't see your name. Sipakanna. Thank you very much. Love your face. You think we'll be able to create missions for ship recovery? Yes, I do think that will be missions we'll be able to create in the future. We're not going to be able to create missions for 3.0, play missions, but yes, I do think that you'll be able to almost create missions for pretty much anything. Like, Jamo Key, thank you very much. You've subbed on the YouTubes. I fucking love your face. I'm planning to go to SitCon if at all able to. Potentially, I think they're pushing for a everyone PTU build for CitizenCon or a live build for CitizenCon. That's what it looks like. Vulcan for the win, yeah, totally agree. Threadripper is maybe a great choice for Star Citizen in the future. In the short term, more powerful single cores, something like the 7700K or 8700K, look to be better bet for pure gaming. But as multi-threading comes into games and starts to use them, then Threadrippers and more cores are going to be so much better. So I buy things to my needs at the moment, so I have to wait and see exactly what how 3.0 performs, and I'll make loads of videos on 3.0 and hardware and what am I doing? Why am I doing this with my hand? Hardware benchmarks and stuff, so we can see what crappy computers will run it, what great computers will run it. Pardon me, and what like diminishing returns and stuff we get. So. Will the flight control showed yesterday be there in 3.0? Yes! That's the ATC's there. It's one of the things they're working on bug fixing at the moment. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We all love my face. Thank you. It's a beautiful face to love. Do you think people will be able to survive the destruction of large vessels and then end up with wreckage? Yes, I do think that some people, ships might explode or get really badly damaged. I do think that some parts of that ship may be okay. I think that some people will be flung from the wreckage effectively, and as long as they can get a suit and helmet on, they could potentially survive. So I do think there are going to be... And I also think that some capital ships, large parts might break off that are potentially still powered and have a gun on. So you might just have like a section of a ship flying away shooting still.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
I think you'll get those crazy emergent gameplay and edge cases. Oh no! I've got Landis beard! This is not supposed to be in my gameplay cut. Thank you very much, Donovan Hill, Donna. I love you. Thank you. I'm the worst at names. We know this. We know this. Anyway, on the HOTAS now, I think they're... I'm not sure if they've abandoned the HOTAS, or... Well, actually, no. I know they're going to look at the HOTAS again once... I think 3.0 was out and Squadron 42 Episode 1 was out. I think that's what Sandy said. And that's the same for the Next Great Star Marine as well. I'm assuming it's been cancelled as well, but I think they said they'd look at it in the future. What else have we got? Oh no. Right. I've got another video I can chuck on. I made earlier today. Just a cut. Advert cut, it's called. Fucking go. There we fucking go. Oh, look at that fucking little face of me or someone twisting at the bottom of that pint glass. Bored Mimer. Yeah. Oh my god, I've got like, I'm the Star Citizen Second Coming. Got like the Star Citizen halo around my head. How's your brother? Yeah, he's fine. He just needs some slightly different care. He is up and about, yes. Thank you very much for asking. I would have let the Goon stream just do whatever they want. If they want to stream, let them stream. I don't care. Shouldn't bother people so much. So like, they want to. Yeah, just trolls and goons want emotional responses sometimes. Whatever. What other games do you see Star Citizen basing their million hand-to-hand combat around? Oh, I don't know. We've only really seen the takedowns, right, which need to be done right. I don't want people to take me down when I'm shooting a shotgun at them. Let's go, taken down. I don't know what we're going to see hand-to-hand combat and melee like. That's a really fucking good question. I will ask more about it when I can. If they're doing melee, like stab, you don't want it just you want a good little system to it, don't you? You want it to feel stabby and hitty, takedowny, and you want the solid stealth mechanics and stuff behind it as well. So the next Great Star Marine, it is for the Titan suits that people are supposed to make a helmet for and stuff. But Sandy said they'd revisit it after they'd finished 3.0, got that out to people, and finished Squadron 42 Episode 1. No, so FOIP should work with pretty much any microphone and camera. There is going to be a special faceware camera that's 60 frames per second, and it's got all the wide angle stuff, and it's high resolution, and it will be the best experience for their technology. And I'll probably get one just so I can test it. But we'll test it with all the different cameras. So until we know the differences and stuff, just use your own webcam. Why not? I've got a C922 and some C920s. We're about to use. We'll see if they're any good. And they didn't give us a price yet. We'll find more out about it at CitizenCon. That's what the Faceware said. Do you think they'll fix the huge horizontal beam in the cockpit of the already reworked Cutlass pack? We'll have to see when the Cutlass is in our hands. If people complain about stuff enough, though, they'll get it done. When do you estimate Squadron 42 Chapter 1 release? I don't know. I was expecting it by March of this year. So, I don't know. It depends on... We should see it in the schedule report before it's released. I'm hoping by the end of first half 2018. Potentially it could be released this year, but I think that's very unlikely now. So yeah, we'll have to wait until we see more. I don't know. It annoys me because I really wanted Squadron 42 to be out by now. But I understand that it's like a premiere project for them. They have to get it perfect. It's just annoying. And I want it now. Do you think 2 cutlasses will still fit in the hangar of the Endeavour? Yes, because it's supposed to fit 2 cutlass threads. Yes. Do you think they'll have player-controlled air traffic control positions? No, I do not. I think there's a potential of players creating a base on the ground and having an air traffic controller guide there, but I don't think it's essential for anything. How do you think locks on fighters will work compared to, and it's potentially actually have air traffic controller players on ships as well, I suppose, on the larger ships. Compared to a large number pad lock on Cutlass Interior, how do you see external locks for ships working in general? I don't know. I mean, they've talked about having keypads similar to like Rust or whatever, or ships just knowing who you are after you've been put on a priorities list. I don't know what way if they're going to implement them or if they're going to implement them all or whatever. Any word on the 300 series rework? Yeah, hopefully it should be done by the end of this year, and then they're moving on to a surprise project, and then I think it's Josh Kuhn's doing the 300 rework, and then he's moving on to the Freelancer Max and DUR. There shouldn't be any negative effects of people that are on DirectX. Vulkan should be a direct upgrade, and it's just a better choice, I believe. They did say if there was, if it was sensible that they would move on to both. Like, there's obviously the potential there for whatever reason that they go, no, this isn't appropriate, and they would support Vulkan and DirectX or whatever. So they always keep their options open. Just be aware of that. Do you expect hangars to be locked or broken into and stolen from? No, I think hangars are going to be the closest thing we have to instantized areas. I don't think they'll be able to be broken into unless they're on a moon or a planet that you've built as a base or whatever. I am an Evocati, yes. I'm an avocado. Battlefield 4 Melee was Garbo. What's the correct term for it? Hello, hello, hello. I am going to go for dinner in a minute. But I will be... I'll get like a studio-y report up tomorrow. Once we've seen the schedule report from later today, I'll update it with the remainder bugs. We'll look at all the bugs in detail. We'll look at the burn down bugs list in detail. We'll look at any other news that I missed, and that sort of jazz. I'll do a update on either on Sunday or Monday as well, which will be any tangible information from the mission system that we had from ATV a couple of weeks ago, or last week in fact, and the traffic control and other systems that they've talked about. They're in 3.0, and I'll do that as like an update as a single video, because I'd probably bang that out in like 6 minutes of content for both, because there's not that much more stuff they talked about really that we didn't already know. Do I think they might redesign the subscriber rewards because rec will be less important? So I suspect that we will see them continuously change subscriber rewards to be more relevant. I also think that they are adding between levels 1 and 20, I think, of recruit rewards. They're adding some more to that in the future, which will be cool because they're obtainable by people. You don't want these like ones that are for like 2,000 or 3,000 referrals. Well, I do, but I'm a very tiny little fucking edge case. Stuff has to be more community based. Do you explore the art of roleplay in Star Citizen or a casual gamer? I'll do a bit of both. I'm going to be quite hardcore in Star Citizen, just lots of gaming and grinding, but I'm happy to do some videos and content on a little bit of roleplay. In fact, the Nomad Black Orc that I'm going to be running is going to be light roleplay, in fact. What is going to happen with the in-game currency? Are we going to be able to buy ships from in-game currency? For 3.1, you're going to be able to buy ships with in-game currency, but if you're buying it with Alpha UEC, your Alpha UEC purchases and ships can be wiped at any time, and will be almost certainly from patch to patch. Thank you very much for the sub and the love. I love your face. What else we got? Any other important questions that you want answered? Question, how explorable, big and in-depth will cities be? I don't know with the procedural cities yet. We have yet to see it properly. I suspect that they'll be similar. They're obviously going to be tiny compared to the procedural planets, but they're going to procedure generate like geometry and stuff, and so that you can see it and fly around cities and it looks proper. Thank you very much, Michael, much appreciated. And it looks proper and it looks highly detailed, but there's going to be some hero areas in there that you can actually land in, that look really great, that have like these landmarks and stuff. We need to, I don't 100% know, but it starts it starts to listen, it's going to be very pretty. I'm dying, I need a drink. With other actors and actresses, which other actors and actresses do you wish to see in the cast of Squadron 42? Oh, I mean, I'd like to see like loads of Star Trek actors and loads of like Claudia Black as well. So Stargate, Star Trek. I'd like to see those kind of actors, and common sci-fi actors. I'd love that. I suspect a lot of them are actually going to be in. So is the Mist Prospector in 3.0? Yes, it is. But mining is in 3.1. What's the first thing I'm going to do when I get into 3.0? The first thing I'm going to do is go to a planet, or go to Daymar, go to Moon, to see all the moons really briefly. Then I want to test out persistence of ships, and work out people logging off at different times and stuff on a same ship. Does that despawn the ship or anything like that? So I want to fuck around with that stuff, fuck around with persistence, and then I'm going to be just kind of lightly testing everything. So I like a vertical slice of all the gameplay, and then I'll work out what I enjoy the most and then do a lot of that. You know, a lot of us can't wait for stuff. More female actors would be nice. I think they've got a reasonable amount of female actors as well, but yeah, it's right. We're gonna go host someone in a second. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. Thank you for all the subs. Thank you for all the donations as well. We're almost there with that. I'm almost there with that CPU. It will benefit my viewers, but yeah, so thank you very much for that, like, quite genuinely. Thank you for all the new sponsor stuff as well on the, YouTube. So people that don't know, sponsors on YouTube live stuff are the same effectively as Twitch subs. You pay like $5 a month, and that helps support content creators. So thank you for all of them. I will get loads of emotes and loads of integration. Thank you very much, Darkness. You're a fucking legend. I'll get all the emotes and stuff like that for YouTube uploaded over the weekend, and see what other integrations we can get for like little games and stuff. Because like on the Twitch, I've got the UEC currency for my own channel currency stuff, and chest spawn and stuff. And I want it to do, if we do little games and stuff, I want it to be loot based. Eventually, I'd like that all to be Star Citizen Escaloot, or silly BoredGamer loot. Thank you very much, Crazy Fruits. You're a fucking legend. But yeah, so I'd like to have all that kind of cool stuff, and then I'd like that channel currency to be used to be able to ask me any questions that you want, to get silly little prizes and loot, possibly allow you to get like win a prize or whatever. I know what we'd do. I said we were going to give away a Nox Q, didn't I? So we have to do that before we do anything else. Let me put on, bear with me. We're going to give away Nox Q. I'm going to ask a question in a minute. Put on, invert card again. I'll ask a question, and the first person to answer it that we'll see in this chat will win. It's going to be Star Citizen related. It's going to be a little bit lore related, and it's for a Nox Q. And if you win, I want you to message me at giveaway@boardgamer.co.uk, and I'll do some things to check that it's you. Do that quite easy enough. I still need to give away. No, actually, I've given away that sunflower from the other day. So it's for a Nox Q, and the question is going to be, in Star Citizen, and I want. There's two answers I will accept for this, and I'll accept either one, but it needs to be the full name of one of them. What is the coil also known as in Star Citizen? I'm watching chat to see who gets it right first. So it has to be relatively specific. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. If I can appreciate that, I'll go once I've seen a winner. Not Port Olisar. No clue. Nah. No, you don't get clues. Oh, that's close. I'm I'm probably going to accept from Mad Rambo. Probably going to accept it. It's very specifically something in that Odin system. It's the Odin cluster. I might. Oh, it was. Close. Yeah. So I'll give it to you, dude. Mad Rambo, Rambo, message me. We'll do stuff like that. There's loads of people now going Asteroid Field, Odin 1 cluster, Odin. It's not Odin specifically. It's Odin 1 or the Odin cluster. But good job, because basically what's happened is it was a planet that looks like it's got destroyed, and now it's like it's an important part of Squadron 42. Probably. But thank you very much. Thanks for all the fucking love as well. Like those subs and everything, they mean a lot. They really do. But please, if you've got feedback on anything, drop me an email. Come into the Reddit. Come into the Discord. If you want to play games or whatever, Suns 3.0 comes out as well. We're playing on servers and stuff. I will genuinely make an effort to play some games with people. Fuck off. We do silly giveaways like that occasionally, but we'll do some other ones as well. Thank you very much. I fucking love your faces, guys. Oh, let's go see who we can actually... Yeah, I actually quite enjoy streaming, especially with stuff like this, because we can just talk. And obviously 3.0 comes out where there'll be a lot more gameplay involved rather than me just showing gameplay and talking about it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look who's streaming. Crash Academy but I don't speak the Germans at the moment. Saurus is on. We'll probably go host Saurus. As long as he's not a Grumpy Saurus. See if he's a Grumpy Saurus, shall we? See, let's have a look.
He's a cheap, like,
progress
$10
on issues
amount.
blocking the release.
He's watching ATV. We're going to go host Saurus. He's a good Saurus. He's a nice Saurus. I get... yeah, so go to here, watch this dude. Thank you very much for watching. I'll probably be playing some VR games later tonight, or some PUBG or something, and I'll stream that as well. Fuck it, why not? Fucking love you guys. Thanks so much. I feel like an amazing part of the community. I've had so many opportunities and stuff from you guys as well. Like, thank you. Fucking... Oh yeah, I'm gonna go host Saurus. I love you. I'm gonna go eat as well. I'm tired. Thanks guys for watching. Oh my god. Ugh.